Hello, this is Brooke, and I want to join hearts with you wherever you are on this sweet and beautiful earth. We are one being, one family, and we all must become earth keepers in this critical and amazing time. Oh, Mother, send us your voice. Teach us what we're to say. Show us how we're to live, to walk a medicine way. Way oh hey, hey oh hey, way nay hey, hey oh. Mother Spirit, send us your voice. Teach us what we're to say. Show us how we're to live, to walk a medicine way. Way oh hey, hey oh hey, way nay hey, hey oh. I'd like to begin with a prayer. Oh, Great Spirit, Great Mother, Father, this beautiful earth and all our relations, all the grandparents, the ancestors, all those in the four directions, below and above us, all of you who have given us such beauty, we call on you. We call on you for the highest and best. May I be a hollow bone to bring through something useful and beneficial and good for these wonderful people who are listening. I ask that your heart, your love, your truth come through these words and this time we have together, much beyond anything I can say, to bless these people and to bless this sweet earth. Ho, Mitakuyasu, all our relations. So I want to talk to you about what I've called earth coding for intelligent action. Now, I want to tell you that this concept, this way of thinking about things, is actually new to me in a certain sense. I've been hearing it and feeling it in my body. And so it may not be as fully developed as it might be, but my intention is for it to be beneficial and useful for you as you walk forward in this time. And it's really about connecting, because it seems to me that the real challenge we have on earth right now is of disconnection. We have disconnected ourselves from the truth and the life and the energy, the intelligence of this beautiful planet and all our relations. And we need to step back into that if we're to find the kind of solutions that we absolutely critically need right now. So, by the way, if any of you have thoughts about this or it sparks something for you, I'd love to have you share it with me. Just, go to my website or go to my email, and it'd be great to have a dialogue around this kind of thing. So, White Buffalo Calf Pipe Woman, in her teachings to us, has reminded us what modern science is now catching up with, and that is that we are one being. We are not just part of one being, we in fact are the wholeness. We are one being. And as that one being, we are incredibly much connected with each other and with everything in the great circle of life. We may not be conscious of it. Our small human brain doesn't necessarily track that very well, but our deeper ancient brain does track it. And it's where deep intelligence comes from. Our intellect and emotions are here in the front of our brain, you might say, but the deep intelligence and the deep connection back through time into the real life of Earth and the real intelligence of Earth, the real intelligence of our own species. All of these lie deep, deep within us. So the thing is that whatever we do, we're connected with everything else. And I think that it helps for us to be conscious, to consciously connect, to consciously be aware, to consciously be grateful, to really awaken our heart in connection and consciously reach out. We're in this wonderful milieu. The old shamans understood that. We're connected to everything. And it's important that we consciously focus our attention through ceremony and ritual and deep, rich, heartful living. So we're informed by that wholeness. The thing I think is that, we do our little daily walk, and if we get too isolated from everything, if we keep ourselves away from all the germs, then pretty soon we don't have an immune system. If we keep ourselves away from the land, we no longer remember how life really works. If we keep ourselves away from life, we think milk comes out of a carton. So we need to connect, and we are connected, and we are informed by all of these things. And when we allow and invite that information to fill us, to nourish us, to inform us, then I believe we have what it takes to create the answers, the solutions that we need on Earth right now. So we want that flow to be constant. There's adjustment. When we are experiencing and connecting with everything around us, the air and the land, the scents, the pollens, the virome, all of those things that come around and inform us and give us information, we are more intelligent and capable and able to be healthy and to be healing and whole with our world and offer good things, offer the gifts we came to give. So let me talk practically, if I can, here for a few minutes. Let's think about food, because I know I haven't really talked yet about the coding. And the coding to me is the information given us by things around us that come inside of us, into our perception, into our breath, into our throats. It's the information that hooks up with ours to give us codes that are remarkably important. Now, let me illustrate with food. One of the things we know now very clearly is that wild foods we gather from the wild, not even the beautiful, organic, wonderful things that are grown, those are fabulous, thank you, but the things that are wild, the things that we pick from the land, the herbs and the food that we bring in that way. And what I've been told by scientists, but was understood always by primary and earth-based people, is that those wild foods have been with us so long that they literally know how to hook up with our systems, with our digestion, and allow themselves to be then much more bioavailable and much more nourishing. So wild, and the more wild and natural we can get things, the better off we are, I think. And certainly the less absolutely we need to get rid of all the pesticides and all of those things. That's a whole other talk. But round up pesticides out, let the natural life come forward in a good way, so that we have this wonderful natural food as well as our great organic garden food. So just simple food. I don't know how many of you eat dandelions. A lot of people, I don't know where this strange idea came that dandelions in your lawn are bad. It's like, what? Dandelions are bright and pretty, and they are the best spring tonic in the world. They're bitter, and they're strong, and they are a strong tonic, and they're wonderful to eat just as greens. They give us enormous benefit. So rather than despising them and poisoning them in ourselves in the process, let's reach out. So I'd love to have you go out there and add some of those dandelion. Wash them good. Put those dandelion greens in with the greens that I hope you're eating in your daily diet. And another one is nettle. You know, good old stinging nettle. I don't know how many of you have been out and around and in near a nettle patch and you found out what it was very quickly because woo, it stings you. But you can pick nettle carefully with gloves and things and make herbs out of it. And you can also make food. You can have nettle as food. It's wonderful food. There's more, probably more minerals and nutrient in nettle than almost anything you can have. There's a lot of wonderful things for women for sure. So nettle, wild nettle, is a wonderful thing to bring into your diet. And what else was I thinking of? Oh, just when you're hiking, a lot of you are hiking, you know, there are the pine branches come out to the tip, and often there's a little tiny light green new growth there. Well, if you pick that little new growth, put it in your mouth, there's incredible vitamin C in it. And all of these things are really nourishing. And not only do they nourish your body, but I believe they give you a kind of information that you can't get otherwise just by walking around. But in fact, one of the things that's wonderful to do to get this earth intelligence and the coding, the information, the connections that you need from the earth to be intelligent, to be awake, to be healthy. Another one is to take off your shoes and go barefoot. You know, you might do it out somewhere that's really comfortable, beautiful grass or a lawn or even a park if you're in the city. But take your shoes off, because down through time, you know, one of the things that's true is that Creator and Mother Earth gave us this amazing, magical possibility. And it came with being natural. You know, for most of our human life on Earth, we were barefoot or had mild coverings if it was rough or we needed them. But they were natural fibers, and that earth information comes up through. And there's coding information about where you are, what's happening on the land where you are. I also understand that there's a kind of alkalinity. Your body will be more alkaline the more you walk on the earth. And in an acidic environment that a lot of us are in, and with acidic foods that we're eating, it's wonderful to have that grounding on the earth. And another thing is just lay down on the earth. It's like, just lay down and be. Just rest. Just connect. Just breathe and feel the earth. You don't have to get intellectual about it. Just lay down there. Especially if you don't have artificial, you know, polyester kind of clothing on. If you have some little cotton shirt or something, maybe some Levi's, you know, or whatever. Lay down there and the earth will speak to you in deeper tones than you can even hear, but it'll give you information that's powerful and useful and healthy for your body. And I know that's sort of esoteric, but it's just the truth. It's just the way the earth was set up. It happened, it was given to us. Down through time, people have really taken advantage of that. Because one of the things that's shown in a lot of studies is that when we began to be agricultural and be in cities and all together, you know, there was more disease, more pestilence, less nourishment. People weren't as healthy. They didn't get out in the sun as much. All of that, literally our human health began to drop in some really deep and strange ways. But when we can get ourselves back out into the land, many of you I know love hiking, love nature, love to get out, and I absolutely suggest that you do that. I would invite you strongly to get out 1 hour a day onto the land, onto the earth, out in the air. Because the other thing is the air. The air itself not only gives you oxygen, hopefully we're in a place that we can have clean air, and that we'll create more clean air in our world as we realize the power of breathing that richness. So there'll not only be oxygen, but also there are pollens, and there are bacteria floating around, and there are scents, and there are all the great hundreds of thousands of viruses that move through, some challenging, but many of them just informational, little packets of information that move through. And as we breathe them in, as we touch the earth, like when we were kids, half the time we were licking our fingers, and we were informing ourselves. We were upping our immune system. We were giving ourselves more possibility. So I'm not saying eat dirt, although there's actually a book out there called Eat Dirt, and it's a wonderful book about this same kind of thing, about how powerful it is when we're in connection, really nitty-gritty connection with things, that how powerful that is and how important that is. So, I also want to talk to you a little bit about ancient codes, because there's coding that we have picked up down through human time that helps tie us to the development and the evolution and the transformations and the movement of Earth, and what's been happening and what's been understood by the whole of life on Earth. And there are a couple things that I think are very interesting. One of them was made by my mentor, Zach Bush, and his colleagues in their labs. They found out that they could take humus, just simple earth, from a certain place where archaeologists had said that earth comes from long before 60,000 years ago. Well, 60,000 years ago was when the dinosaur event happened, when a meteor and the dinosaurs and this rich, green, amazing world was crashed. So that earth has information from before that time, before that last extinction. So don't you think, I can't prove this, I guess, but don't you think that earth, that humus, would have some kind of coding, some kind of information that might be of use to us in our remembering how to keep this earth green and rich and verdant? So what Zach and his gang did, which surprised them enormously, is they found out in their petri dishes and in their research that this ion biome that they created tightens the junctures among the cells. And one of the things that's been happening in our wider culture is that all these pesticides and other pollutants and things come in, and what they do is they open the junctions in our gut, they open the junctions in our brain, and they open the junctions in our kidneys, and that allows leakage. And so that leakage coming into our system allows all of these toxins in, and all of these things that make us feel allergic to ourselves, and autoimmune diseases develop. So anyway, that ion biome comes from a long, long time ago, and it's a long subject, and I love to talk about health, and I'll share anything with you that you'd like to ask me about down the line. So 60,000 years ago, very interesting. Well, then another wonderful colleague and long distance friend, Keone Hanalei in Hawaii, he has the lineage of the Hawaiian people that comes from Lemuria, from ancient times. I understand it was before the earth even settled and hardened. There was a whole different experience. And what he carries is fern medicine from the big ferns, all the fronds of the ferns, the spores underneath the ferns. And here's the interesting thing. The ferns, as far back as archaeologists can check, back through all of time, the earliest that they can check, the DNA of ferns has not changed through all these different extinctions and all the other things that have happened. they have remained constant. And they have very much to do with our emotional nature. So there's a coding. I was honored to be gifted with some of the tincture of wild fern spores. And I love taking it because when I take it, my intention is to connect back in deep into the history and the understanding of the earth and how the earth has moved and healed herself and come forward in such a beautiful way. So to me, that's what I'm talking about with coding. I believe there are codes in those things. They're subtle, they're beyond our imagining at a certain level, and yet they are very, very, very powerful. So those ancient codes, I think, are really, really important. And you know, the thing I think, and I said this before, is that it's really important to be conscious of these things. They are there, they're around us. As we interact with them, they inform us. But to be grateful, to be thankful, to be honoring, to be respectful, to be curious, to be open-hearted, to really be willing to connect and be present, consciously present with all of these things, I think makes an incredible difference. And another kind of coding we have received, there's a whole science now of epigenetics, but another kind of coding we've received is from the ancestors. And the ancestors' delight, their joy, as well as their job, is to help us be our very best selves, to bring forth and give away, offer into the world our highest and finest gifts. They want us to just give it all and have the meaning and satisfaction of giving what we came to give into the world. So that's their job and what they love doing. So many of us have not paid attention to that and taken advantage of it. And in this critical time, I believe that we should take advantage of every possible thing we can to awaken ourselves and to find the solutions to the problems we have, to find Earthkeeper solutions that are deeply connected with the truth of the earth itself. So I wanted to take you on a little meditation. I've suggested many things for you to do, but right now I'd like to take you on just a very short meditation, one you could deepen into in your own time if you'd like. But I'd like you to take a little journey with your ancestors. And you know, we have different things going on about our ancestors, about I like this one or didn't like this one, or that one was this and that and all this. But when we're connecting to our ancestors, we're connecting to the line, the heart line of love and intelligence that comes from our ancestors, not their personalities. So there's this lineage of intelligence that comes down, that comes through the heart. And I'd like to take you on just the shortest journey with the ancestors. So let's take a breath, settle back. And even more than the faces of your ancestors, I'd like you to think of their hearts. And when I say ancestors right now, some of your parents may be living, and that's fine. We'll connect through them as well. So it's not about their faces and their personalities, but just about connecting heart to heart to these amazing beings that brought you forward. So just soften your eyes and let yourself go, and let's take this little journey. Behind you stand two people, your mother and father. And with any of these people, if you did not know them consciously, they are still there. They are always there. You're always connected. And so, mother and father behind you, two people, and then four, their mother and father. So, grandma and grandpa on one side and grandma and grandpa on the other. And then again, their parents, 8 people, going back, 4 now on each parent's side. and 16, and then 32 and 64 and 128, and on and on and on and on and on. Enormous numbers of people. It goes back in just a few generations. So many people, so much experience, so much earth experience. And so let yourself drift back along that heart connection. And the first thing it would be good to do is to give thanks. These are the ones that made it possible for you to be here. And so give thanks to them. Give thanks to them for the earth, for leaving us the earth as we found it, and for life, for your life, and the life of many others. And I'd like you to send some love back their way. Take a moment and think, when was a time when you just felt incredible love in your heart? It could have been for a parent, a child, a friend, a lover, a baby puppy, whatever it might have been. Find that place where you just felt so loving, perhaps, and loved, held by someone, taken care of, nourished and gifted by someone. Just that feeling of the nourishment and beauty of love. And then send that forward. I guess we might say backward. Send that backward through all of your family, back and back. Love is magical and could go back and back and back and touch the hearts of all of these beings who gave you life. And then acknowledge with them that you now understand that they have many gifts for you, that you can ask them for things, and that they're willing to help you, consciously, subconsciously, who knows how the information will come, but they're willing to help you to be your best self and to give your most beautiful gifts. So thank them for that connection and know that they're thrilled. They're underemployed in this world of ours, and so they're thrilled to hear from you, to be connected with you, to be able to serve the world through you, for they are gone. They can no longer offer in the way that we can who are here. And so they want you to offer everything you can. You can bring forth what is good and true and beautiful from your lineages, with the rich intelligence of people who have lived in every kind of circumstance and lived through it to bring you forth. And then ask them for a message. Tell them that you wish to be an earth keeper. You wish to make a difference. You wish to have your gifts and what you can do make an absolute positive difference in this sweet world now that is so needed. And so ask them to help you with that, and to now, right now, as I continue to drum, to give you a message, a word, a thought, an image, a dream, a vision. Invite that to come now or in the next little while, perhaps even as you dream tonight. Invite that message from your ancestors. And so you can consciously let go of that remembering of your ancestors. knowing that they're always there, always available, always in that loving connection with you. And so let them go with thanksgiving. And open your heart to hear the message they have for you, the message that will help move you forward into the kind of gifts that you can give that bring solutions and goodness and peace and beauty and green and purity and clarity to this sweet earth and all our relations. So I hope in this short time I've been able to give you a sense of the power of these codes, this scent, this fragrance, this richness, this information that all our relations have for us. And that you can consciously think about that and invite that. You know, walking out, learn a few of those wild herbs. It's nothing more fun than to reach down and pick some beautiful little herb and clean it off and munch it and know that it's nourishing you and know that it's gifting you with intelligence. It's intelligence of how to live in that place. It lives without even moving. So reach out, touch this wildness in yourself, touch these wild beings, bring them into yourself, stand, lie. I guess it'd be great if you could, in a quiet and protected place, you could lie nude on the earth, certainly barefoot, so that you pick up that information, that coding, the intelligence that the earth has for us. Until we do this, I think we won't have the deepest and best answers for what's happening at this time, for how we ourselves can become the earth keepers that we're meant to be. So earth and air and scents and touching life and inviting it to give you the codes that will make a difference in our lives and the lives of all our relations. So I'm saying thank you very, very much. It's wonderful to have been with you, and I will be praying with you. I'm going to keep visiting with you for a moment because I need to get things open so I can turn off my video. This technical world is not the easiest one for me. So anyway, I'm sending you away with very much love, very much support for who you are and the finest and deepest and richest and truest of you that is so deeply connected with this beautiful earth. Ho Mitakuyasan, all my relations.